Let's start in Perek, page 144, all the big ones, Perek Memtet, Pasuk Yud Gimel. דף 144.
Okay.
למטה. On the bottom, Perek, which is Perek Memtet, Pasuk Yud Gimel.
279.
זבולון, we go זבולון לחוף ימים ישכון, והוא לחוף אוניות. זבולון is going to live on ports, on beach areas, on oceans, and he's going to have boats. וירכתו על צידון. Here we place on the border of Zvulun will be at the city of Tzidon. So Rashi explained, let's see Rashi all the way on the bottom, Yud Gimel, Zvulun לחוף ימים, על חוף ימים תהיה ארצו, his land will be by חוף, by the beaches, חוף תרגומו ספר מרקה בלעז. Now he described what's the business of Zvulun. והוא יהיה מצוי תדיר על חוף אוניות. You will always be by oceans, by beaches, מקום שהנמל, שהאוניות מביאות שם פרקמטיה. Zvulun will be a place where boats are coming and bringing merchandise. שהיה זבולון עוסק בפרקמטיה, זבולון used to do business, הוא ממציא מזון and provide food לשבט יששכר, to the tribe of יששכר, והם עוסקים בתורה, and they are learning Torah. הוא שאמר משה, שמח זבולון בצאתך, ויששכר באהליך. זבולון יוצא בפרקמטיה, זבולון is doing merchandise business, ויששכר עוסק בתורה באוהלים. And Yisachar learning Torah in Ohalim. So the simple description, famous partnership, I think this is the first partnership in the Torah, which can teach a lot how to do business. But partnership between Zvulun and Yisachar. Yisachar is sitting and learning Torah, and Zvulun is the provider. He is the one who giving him money so he can continue and sit and learn Torah. Here Rashi explained that the way the Torah structured the partnership between Zvulun and Yisachar, it's Zvulun does business and Yisachar sit and learn Torah. Which bring a basic question. If Zvulun is a farmer, farmers makes a lot of money as well. Why cannot be a partnership with Yisachar? It seems to be that the requirement for the partnership between Zvulun and Yisachar, it's understanding that Zvulun does pragmatia, does business, and Yisachar sitting and learning Torah. So that is a lot of explanation. Any type of partnership, who cares where's the source of the money coming from? In any profession, as long as you have Yisachar and Zvulun, should be just as enough to create the partnership. That's question number one. So why the requirement for the partnership of Zvulun that he should do business? But if he's a farmer, it's not good.
What's Rashi says?
Rashi said that pragmatia,
Only if he's not a
davka business.
Only if he is a farmer? Then
No,
it's not good?
if he's farmer, is not good. The requirement for Zvulun is to do pragmatia, to do only business, not being a farmer. Why not? אתה רוצה יששכר וזבולון, נכון? A farmer can do יששכר וזבולון.
Isn't that
למה
also
לא?
business, though?
No, farmer is not considered as business.
Why? You're selling your trade.
We'll talk about it in the future, in Vayter. Now, there is very interesting, all of the brachot that Yaakov gave to the brothers, he just gave them something personal brachot. But Zvulun, the last three words of the bracha, v'yarkato al tzidon. What's v'yarkato al tzidon? Rashi says, the end of his gvul, the border of his territory will be by tzidon. Why is that a bracha over here? It has nothing to do with the bracha over here. The fact that it's going to be on Tzidon, it's a side factor where the border ends. We have in Sefer Yehoshua all of the borders for each tribe that described elsewhere. Has nothing to do with Yaakov Avinu giving us bracha to Zvulun, and giving us description where Zvulun territory will end. This is Zvulun. Next one is Yisachar. Yisachar chamor garem, rovץ בין המשפטיים. So Rashi says, what if Yisachar chamor garim? Just like Yisachar, he has strong bones. Also, Yisachar has strong bones. Sovel et Torah, he can load the Torah like a donkey that they put on top of him a big load. Rovetz ben המשפטיים, he slipped between cities on the road. בגמרא in יבוא מסד, דף ס"ב עמוד א', בגמרא says in מסכת יבמות, that גויים called חמור. שבו לכם פה עם החמור, עם הדומה לחמור. Seems to be חמור is not the highest compliment for a human being. If you don't like someone, חמור, נכון? Why Yisachar getting such a compliment as a חמור? Yisachar חמור גרם. Where we emphasize that we are not חמור. גויים are חמורים, אנחנו לא חמור. Was a fight an argument between Ashkenazi and Sfaradi, who's going to be the Chamor of the Mashiach. So the Ashkenazi says, אני לבן, נכון, I'm white, so the donkey is supposed to be white, I'm going to be the donkey. But the Sfaradi said, אני יותר חמור, I'm more of a donkey. So, but seemingly Chamor is not the highest compliment, so how come we see here that it is a compliment for Yisachar?
מה זה גרם?
Huh? Garem is the bone, so it's about the bones. Okay. The next pasuk means that Vayar menucha ki tov v'ta'aretz ki na'ema. Rashi says, what's Vayar menucha ki tov v'ta'aretz ki na'ema? Rashi says, ra'a lechelko eretz mevorechet v'tova leotzi perot. He saw that in his territory has a beautiful land who can create a lot of fruit. So that seems that Hashem gave Yisachar already the source and the income to eat, nachon? We understand that he lives by Zvulun, and Zvulun is the provider. But we see straight from the Torah that he has fruit, he has his own business. So what's the Zvulun role over here? If he has his own land, his own merchandise, his own business, how come we need Zvulun to be Bechlal to support him? He has his own income. The Torah continues, Vayechi chmo lisbol. Rashi says, Heshpil shichmo. What is hashpil over here? Hashpala means in Hebrew to put something down. What do we need them? After we said hashpil shichmo, it seems like he's there to load to receive Torah. We already said it at the beginning. Yisachar chamor garem. He's carrying a load. Why did the Torah repeat itself? Hashpil shichmo. He lowered himself again in order to load the Torah. Last thing. Okay, so let's stop over here. Let's go now, the bracha of Moshe to Zvulun. By the end of Chumash Dvarim, which is, by this Chumash, it's page Dvarim Lamed Gimel, Pasuk Yudchet, page 593.
פסוק,
Towards the end.
Yeah, Pasuk Yudchet.
Eric? Page 1116.
So here we have an interesting approach. ולזבולון אמר, smach זבולון בצאתך ויששכר באוהליך. What smach means? Hashem telling Zvulun you should be happy when you go out, and יששכר באוהליך. Says Rashi on the bottom, שמח זבולון בצאתך ויששכר באוהליך. It's great to see this Rashi inside. למטה, רש"י פה. לא, אתה בצד נמצא שכן, שם, כן. זבולון ויששכר עשו שותפות. History. זבולון לחוף ימים ישכון. is the world by the ocean, by the beaches. ויוצא לפרקמטיה בספינות. Goes out to business with boats. הוא משתכר and getting income. Listen to the following word. ונותן לתוך פיו של יששכר. He fits into the mouth of יששכר. יש לו בעיה עם החול. והם יושבים ועוסקים בתורה. And they are sitting and learning Torah. This is the new description. That it seems that they are learning Torah together. But the requirement for Zvulun is to fit into the mouth of יששכר. Very strange requirement. לפיכך הקדים זבולון ליששכר, שתורתו של יששכר על ידי זבולון הייתה. Therefore, he put Yisachar before Zvulun. Zvulun before Yisachar, because the only way Yisachar can learn Torah is from Zvulun. That's hard, because we know by the end of the day that Bnei Torah can learn Torah. They enable those who support them to make living by the end of the day. Here, it's not as frum as it should be, right? He said, no, you're learning only because of me. But זה לא אמת. How can you give a credit? The guy learning Torah because he has the ability, he has the zchut to learn Torah. We let Zvulun feels that, okay, it's all because of you. That's not correct. It was a story. I recently went to Rabbi Lev Steinman. So a guy said that we have two ladies. We wanted to close one of our branches in different city, but the two ladies who work for us, they are neshot of avrechim. They are wives of Kola guys, and we're not sure if we're going to close. We're going to hurt their parnassa. So Rabbi Lev told them, if you have a mistake, if you're going to close, you might going to hurt your own parnassa. How do you know that they support you supporting them? They are supporting you by the end of the day. So it seems from the Torah here, Lord, Zvulun is the one who gets the support. The Torah emphasized that it goes to Zvulun.
That's what said Yisachar has his own money.
That's it. ישמח זבולון בצאתך, הצליח בצאתך לסחורה. The next Rashi. How do we describe the success of Zvulun? שמח זבולון בצאתך, be successful. ויששכר, הצליח בישיבת אוהליך לתורה. So you should be successful at what you do, and Yisachar should be successful. But the success of Zvulun being described as smach. Very interesting description. Now look weiter. What's the job of Yisachar? What do you think? To learn Torah. There is a whole new description. Leyeshev, then the top column in the Rashi. The next one. Leyeshev, lishev ולעבר שנים ולקבוע חידושים. The part of Yisachar to make months, years. When he has Rosh Chodesh, today we have a set calendar. Back then was no set calendar. So Yisachar needs to be on top of the Jewish calendar. כמו שנאמר, הפסוק says, ובבני יששכר יודע בינה לעתים. They know the times when to make calendars. ו200 ראשי סנהדרין היו עוסקים בכך. There were 200 of ראשים of Sanhedrin busy with it. ועל פי קביעות עתיהם ועיבוריהם. They said the 18, the זמן and the עיבור. It seems that the job of Yisachar was completely different. It's all about לעבר שנים ולקבוע חודשים. Yisachar, didn't they have a better job in Am Yisrael? To give halacha, there are plenty of halachot. לעבר שנים ולקבוע חידושים, it's only once a month for Rosh Chodesh, and every few years to make a leap year and Adar Bet. Besides that, they had plenty of jobs to teach Am Yisrael Torah, mitzvot, Shabbat, Niddah, Kashrut, הכול. The Torah ignored it. The Torah focused only on לעבר שנים ולקבוע חודשים, to set the calendars. Unbelievable. I do want to read further. I'll say the question outside. The Torah says that Kishefa, the Torah here concludes, Kishefa Yamim Ginaku. The Torah, Rashi says, Yisachar veZvulun will have time to learn Torah because they would have the best zchuchit levana, white glass that was very expensive, was found only on their area. So he said they are learning Torah, Rashi says, together. Doesn't seem to be anymore Yisachar and Zvulun. It seems to be they are together selling and learning Torah. But Yisachar and Zvulun is supposed to be separated. Yisachar is the one who learns, and Zvulun is the one who learning Torah. So in order to understand the whole story, there is an unbelievable Gemara about Yisachar Chamor Garim. The Gemara says, what Yisachar Chamor Garim? When Rachel, when Reuven was found the Dudaim in the Sadeh, in the field, you went on, and Rachel went over to Leah and said, Leah, can you give me the Dudaim? It's Gula to have kids. She responded back to her, Ameat kachtech et ishi velakachat et Dudae bni? You took my husband, you want to take the Dudaim? She said, Lachen ishkav imach balayla hu. On that night, he's going to sleep with you. And on that night, who came out from that night? Yisachar. Said the Gemara, you need וישכב עמה בלילה ההוא. So Yaakov slept with Leah on that night. מלמד שהקדוש ברוך הוא סייע באותו מעשה. Hashem was helping that מעשה when they were together. שנאמר, יששכר חמור גרם. חמור גרם לו ליששכר. חמור caused יששכר to come to the world. מה פשט חמור גרם ליששכר? It's unbelievable. Rashi Nedarim brings that when Leah told Yaakov that you're going to sleep with me tonight, so Yaakov was riding a donkey. He came from work. So he tilted the chamor to go toward the tent of Leah. And therefore, the chamor who took Yaakov to the tent of Leah caused Yisachar to come to the world.
What heck?
מה heck? ממש, unbelievable. The Gilion Hashat of the Kivei Eiger brings an aruch. Aruch, he said, when Leah heard the chamor making noise, she knew that Yaakov is coming. So she was able to go over to him and to tell him, Yaakov, you gotta come to my tent. So because she heard the chamor, she was able to direct Yaakov to her place, and therefore, Yisachar called chamor garim. איזה חמור? כאילו, מה קורה פה? איזה חמור? What has to do with the chamor? To call Yisachar chamor garim because she tilted the chamor to go that way. That's really unbelievable. So, in order to understand the whole story, who is Yisachar, what's the job, we need to go back to that story when the exchange over there. Rachel was telling Leah, give me dudaim. You have Leah in Ara 4 children, and I have 0. Dudaim is gula for children. Can you give me dudaim? What's the chutzpah of Leah answer? המעט קחתך את אישי ולקחת את דודאי בני. אני לקחתי לך את האישה? As we know, that the original wife was supposed to be בכלל Rachel. And Rachel got simanim from Yaakov. And the simanim was to make sure that it would be Rachel. How come Esau was able to switch it with Leah? כי רחל גילתה את הסימנים ליעקב. So if she gives the simanim to Yaakov, she's a chutzpah. המעט קחתך את אישי, I gave you the husband, what are you talking about? Now then, the answer is, okay, no problem. לכן נשכב עמך בלילה ההוא. How is that the solution to the problem? If she took it אישי, נכון?
Leah said to Rachel that that Yaakov will be with you.
Rachel said to Leah, okay, give me the dudaim, so Yaakov can be with you. How is that the solution to the problem? קחתך את אישי, you לקחת את דודאי, okay, he's going to be with you tonight. How is that resolving the problem? You took my husband. Why would I give you the dudaim? So how? Okay, he's going to sleep with you. So what? Taking the husband is still remain a problem. But the last part is very hard. It says, ותצא עליה לקראתו, ואתה אומר, שכור שכרתיך בדודאי בני. I'm sorry, but the Gemara says that Isha was not married, and man was not married. It's harder for the man to control his yetzer. Why? The Gemara said, צא וראה משוק של זונות. מי סוחר את מי? By the market of zonot. Who's hire who?
The man.
Men hire. Here, the woman, Leah, goes over to Yaakov. By the way, I paid for your services. Yalla, bo. What's going on over here? That's not an approach. A woman should not come to pay for it. What's going on over here? So think of the following. There is an unbelievable keyword that appears by Leah. Leah described המעט קחתך את אישי. Leah is the only one who referred to Yaakov as אישי. It begins earlier, כתוב ויאהב גם את רחל מלאה. Yaakov loved Rachel more than Leah. Leah felt שנואה אנוכי. When is Leah using the terminology אישי? Only when she bring a child to Yaakov. By Reuven, כי ראה שאתה יהבני אישי. By Reuven it says אישי. By Levi, הייתה ילווה אישי אליי. What אישי means? The Navin Yehoshua says, והיה ביום ההוא, תקראי אישי, ולא תקראי עוד בעלי. Rashi says, אישי it's ishut v'chibat neurim. Ba'ali, it's ba'alut, it's ownership. Leah has a big issue in this relationship. The ishi part, she doesn't have. Yaakov ze ba'ala. He's ba'ala. Nobody asked, nobody argued. And he was our husband. But Rashi says chibat neurim. What's chibat neurim? Something that was earlier. I was thinking with a couple, 65 years old, and they seems to have, I was in Israel, they seems to have shalom bayit. So I was asking them, did you ever had good time? She said, yes, at the beginning we had a good time. The rule is in shalom bayit, if at any time in the relationship they had closeness, you need to restore to that point, because this is where they need to be. Throughout life, they went through difficulty that distract them from who they are. Ishi means there is an original point that my husband was Ishi. Rachel, when she came into the story, the Ishi was taken away from Leah. So she tried all of the time to chase that good feeling of having Ishi. She knows the only way to do it is through bringing children to Yaakov. So she brought Reuven, she said Ishi, Shimon, Levi, she said Ishi, Yehuda, and then the Torah says, Paska miledet. When she stopped giving birth, she gave her shifcha or pilegesh to Yaakov. And at this point, they had 2 children, and she has no children. She has 4 children. That's unbelievable, amazing. But what's the purpose of children of Leah? What's the reason she wants to have children? For one word, for Ishi. She goes, Rachel comes over to her, and Rachel is telling her, can you give me the dudaim? The dudaim is gula to have kids. Says Rachel to her, let me have kids. She says, I can't give it to you because you took Ameat kachtech et Ishi. You took my Ishi. If you're going to take the dudaim, what's going to be? I'm not going to have what? Ishi, because what the dudaim are good for? Sgula to have children. If you're going to take it away from me, you're going to take my Ishi. Rachel, I appreciate you giving me the simanim. But by the end of the day, the Ishi portion you took away from me, and I'm trying to restore it by every birth, and at this point you're taking it away from me. I cannot function. This is the first change in Leah. She said to Leah, you're right, I took your Ishi. לכן ישכב עמך בלילה הוא. Rachel is telling Leah, you have to approach it differently. Forget about the Ishi that you're trying to get. Because you're not going to be able to get it. Therefore, give up. You think to have a child through the dudaim? Give it to me. You're getting something else now. I'm going to let you sleep with Yaakov as an exchange. What an exchange means? Yaakov being behind his back, they're doing business, right? You sleep with her, I'm getting the dudaim. Leah realized something new. Bringing a child at this point, it's not about me. Bringing a child at this point, it's about Yaakov. It's not for me anymore. At this point, when Leah is bringing a child, she's taking care of Yaakov instead of taking care of herself. She gave up the Ishi. She goes over to Yaakov. Kisachor secharticha balayla. She goes over to Yaakov. I'm going against my nature because I'm not here to take care of myself. When a lady wants to take care of herself to be close to her husband, she doesn't pay him. When she cares about Knesset Israel, about Am Israel, she is paying him. She's using Yaakov now not as a Ishi, not as a husband, as a machine who can build a child for Am Israel. The child is going to come out from that night. It's a special child among the Shvatim. His mom has nothing to do about her. This child is about Am Israel. Therefore, she has no problem going over to Yaakov. I paid you. I hired you services. Because it's not about me. If it's about me, I wouldn't tell you I hire you services. It's about Am Israel, to have another child for Am Israel. which means when you have a person come riding a donkey, and this is where we're taking it different direction. When a person rides a donkey, what's the most important? The man or the car? Most important is the man. At this point, she's looking at Yaakov as a man or as a machine? Machine. Yaakov is not man anymore, he's a machine. Which means she's looking at the donkey who bring Yaakov with a similar approach. You're bringing this machine to my house. So what's motivating her over here, the chamor, the Torah says, garam leYaakov, chamor took Yaakov. Yaakov is not a factor anymore over here. Because it's not a husband. So who got Yaakov over here? The chamor. Chamor represent the understanding nothing about me. The Gemara says, why the goyim are ama domeh lechamor? Because the Gemara says, goyim en lahem chayis. Their children are not considered their own children. Lama, just like Chamor, his son is not connected to him, so too by goyim, their children are not connected to him. Chamor means an animal that has no connection to anybody else around. You just get the job done. That's Chamor. Chamor got the job done for Yaakov. The relationship over there was in a way relationship of Chamor. There is no personal over here. It's all about the technical of Yaakov allowing Leah bringing a child to the world for the sake of Am Yisrael. Which means we define Yisachar into something else. Yisachar, a job of Yisachar, nothing about me. Rashi says Chamor Garem, it's about the bones, about the ability to carry. It's not an ability to, it's not what he pleasure, what he gain. Rovetz ben HaMishpatayim, he sleep between cities. He's not looking for what's good for him, he's looking for what's good for the job. What's the job of the Chamor? To carry, to load? That's his job at Yaakov, of Yisachar. Yisachar, it's a special feature in Am Yisrael, different than anybody else, that he doesn't care about himself, it's all pure about others. Zvulun getting a partnership with Yisachar. Zvulun, in order to get partnership with Yisachar, is getting a special reward because Yisachar, it's not about him. How is that is possible that it's not about him? Don't you think Yisachar needs food? Yisachar needs, נכון? But the Torah gives a special sentence. Vayar menucha ki tov ve'et haaretz ki na'ema. Yisachar had his own means to make living. He has his own land. He just choose not to work on the land. What is decision? To be a partner. So is the partnerships the best for Yisachar or is not the best for Yisachar?
Not the best.
Huh? Not the best. What's a better feeling for a man? To have his own parnasa and to support himself. But he's giving a special privilege to Zvulun to support him. Aval, that's also dangerous. Zvulun, the only right he has to support Yisachar, only if he doesn't get any entitlement. The difference between business people and workers, farmers feel entitlement to the land. Mora said, why people have hard time keeping Shemitah? It's my land. You're going to take my land? The ability of making money of a profession, every moment, that's what generate and create the income. On business, it's not my effort. What's a business means? You make good connection and you made money. When a person does business, he doesn't feel entitlement. He feels it came out. Only such a person can support Yisachar. Because if you feel entitlement to your money, you're going to feel entitlement to Yisachar. I am the one who's giving him parnasa. I am the one who's supporting him. You cannot feel entitlement to your money. So step number one, in order to be an Yisachar, you must understand no entitlement to what I have that's giving you the ability to give it to somebody else. Therefore, ladies has hard time giving tzedakah than men. Because ladies feel entitlement to what they own. They feel connection, they're emotional people. For ladies to give out tzedakah, it's much harder. Usually the custom is that the man doesn't tell his wife everything he gives out. Lama, she hears, oh, what you do? Keep it quiet, It's better. Because there is entitlement. If a man understands I have no entitlement to what I own, he has the ability to give to support Yisachar. That's why the Torah gives a special border for Zvulun. V'yarkato al tzidon. Zvulun is the only one who get border. If you're there to support higher other people, you need to have your own borders. Don't think it's on your control. Because when you support somebody else, by the end of the day, he's supporting you. What's a feeling of somebody who understands that he supports you? You feel uncomfortable, נכון? Zvulun understood that I am getting supported by Yisachar. Therefore, the Torah says Zvulun gotta be before Yisachar. Only if you understand that you're getting supported from Yisachar, you should be before Yisachar. But if you think that you're the one who's supporting Yisachar, you cannot be before him. The zchut that Zvulun got is to be the supporter, understanding that we are equal to a certain extent. Therefore, the Gemara says, Smach Zvulun betzetecha v'Yisachar be'oalecha. It's so hard for people when do Yisachar and Zvulun, an equal one, to feel good about it. I work hard and you sit and learn all day, nachon? The Torah says, Smach Zvulun. The only way you can be Zvulun, only if you go out to work and you are happy about it. If you have no happiness about it, you have no right to support Yisachar. But this is the...
What do you mean by real Yisachar Zvulun?
What?
What do you mean by real Yisachar?
Okay, that's a good question. Really, Yisachar Zvulun means, I know guys who are supporting a college guy, nachon? Okay, I'm giving him $1,000 a month, yalla Yisachar Zvulun. You spend $15,000 a month, and you want him to live with $1,000 a month and Yisachar and Zvulun? That's not real Yisachar and Zvulun. Real Yisachar and Zvulun, I have a brother, Rabbi Shlomo, learning in Kollel many years. He did Yisachar with Zvulun with my brother-in-law, that he's sitting and learning all day Torah. Now, both of them have no money. this is the worst Yisachar and Zvulun you can ever. So I was going over to my brother, to my brother-in-law. I said, you can have a better Zvulun. I mean, you don't take Yisachar for Zvulun. So he told me, I'm not a business guy. He's a tzaddik. And it's a business. I said, no business, it's a basic. But listen, anything that he needs, he's taking care of him. Unbelievable. He has his own ways. He fundraises from the family, from people around. Whatever my brother-in-law needs, he's taking care of him. Not as allowance a month, whatever. Anything you need.
Who's the Sachar and who's the Zvulun?
So apparently my brother Shlomo is the Zvulun. And my brother-in-law is the Yisachar. But he took full responsibility on him. Everything you need, it's my responsibility. That's true Yisachar and Zvulun. Because Yisachar and Zvulun, I'm giving you a set amount a month and get lost. You have to marry your children off. Like they had bar mitzvah, he paid for the bar mitzvah. My brother, that true Yisachar and Zvulun. It's unbelievable, Because he knows to appreciate, the Yisachar of my brother-in-law so much, so he's able to do it. Unfortunately, people that do Yisachar and Zvulun, since people with money usually are being begged for money, so they feel entitlement to their money. So when they give, I gave them enough. I was saying with a guy, a rabbi makes $6,000 a month. מה, זה לא מספיק? מה, אבל you need money more, הוא לא צריך, מה, he doesn't need to pay tuition? Okay, he gets a discount, but people approach on other people learning Torah as they don't need, let me give them the, mashu to get rid of them. That's the biggest mistake. That's not Yisachar v'Zvulun. True Yisachar v'Zvulun, we are equal partners. Everything you need, I'm here for you. 100%. That's a real Yisachar v'Zvulun. By giving $300 a month, don't feel you have Yisachar and Zvulun. People might go to give you a Teudah. The reason Israel is so quickly give Teudah Yisachar and Zvulun. That's in order for you to make you feel good to continue giving it. But that's
50-50.
What?
50-50.
So I saw some poskim were required to give 50-50, but bemet, then if you cover full need of your other fellow, like with my brother and he doesn't want 50% of him because he's going to pay him back. But he's taking care of whatever he needs, so he gets much more than 50%. So he really said, I understand that I have a privilege to be part of your life, and I'm there to make it happen. That's a true definition of Yisachar and Zvulun. What's the responsibility of Yisachar? The highlight of Yisachar is, the Torah says, Yode'eh bina leitin. They know how to make Ibur Shana. It says that the three things that Hashmonai were gozer on Bnei Israel, not to keep Shabbat, Milah, and Romaim, and Chodesh. What's Chodesh means? The Romaim, the three things that require, Shabbat require time, נכון? Got to be on time. Every 7 days, Shabbat. Milah it's on time, ביום השביעי. Rosh Chodesh it's time. Time, it's an essence of a human being. Meaning, consistency is the only way to succeed in life. The Romaim were trying to take away consistency from Am Yisrael. Okay, you want to do Brit, don't do it on that day, do it on another day. Rosh Chodesh, don't calculate it, maybe it falls differently. The control of consistency means you know things going to happen. The responsibility of Yisachar is consistency. You must be consistent. When you're getting the privilege of getting from Zvulun, what Zvulun gives you, you have your own responsibilities. You must be consistent for your time and your responsibility. You cannot have Yisachar and Zvulun is there to fully support, and the Yisachar is taking a break when he wants to. It doesn't work. It's a full responsibility, number one, of consistency. Second, the ability to do Ibur Chodashim, to be Me'aber the month, to have a leap year, leap month. The Gemara says that someone who's Zaken cannot be part of Ibur HaChodesh. Lama? Because for him it's cold. He preferred to push the time. You have no right to be biased. Le'aber shani v'chad chodashim, that's chamor, means it's not about me. What emphasizes Bnei Yisachar is understanding that it's not about me. We're taking care of the Jewish calendar, meaning nothing, you cannot be biased at all. But the third one is the most important one. The Gemara says, in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, the Rabban Gamliel said, he was the Nasi of Am Yisrael, and he said the month would be, the Rosh Hashanah falls on a certain date, which affects Yom Kippur to be on the following 10 days. And Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Akiva, was Rabbi Yoshua, I use the word Rabbi Yoshua, maybe I'm wrong, I'm just looking for the Gemara. So Rabbi Yoshua said, you're wrong. Rosh Chodesh should not be the way you said it, should be on the following day, which means Yom Kippur is supposed to be the next day, not the day that you announce Am Yisrael. The Torah says that the Gemara says that he told them, you must come to me. Rabbi Gamliel told Rabbi Yeshua, come on the day that Yom Kippur falls on your calendar with your wallet, with your stick, go out of the Eruv. Be mechalel your Yom Kippur. They say, איך אני יכול לעשות את זה? You have a wrong calculation. It's unbelievable. There is, when a lady sees her period, there is a special halacha, it's called onata veset. Any intent time, any pattern where a lady can have a period, any pattern that's supposed to have a period, it's ona, that a man needs to separate from his wife. One of them is every 30 days. 30 days, it's a period, right? Every 30 days. It's called ona benonot. There are three types. The second type of ona that a man on that moment not allowed to be with his wife, it's called onata dilug. If she sees every 25 days, or every 28 days, or 25, 26, 27, 25, 26, as it said, every time there is any pattern of time, on that time, man not allowed to be with his wife. There is one more, it's called onat achodesh. So if she sees on the same day of every month, let's say on Daled of the month, that's considered as a pattern that a man not allowed to be with his wife. The shaila is, chodesh, it's not a pattern. Because chodesh vary. Some chodesh is 29 days, and some is 30 days. So how can that be a pattern? The Taz bring on the spot an unbelievable principle. We have a halacha that a girl up to the age of 3, her בתולי החוזרים, איך אומרים את זה?
Virginity comes back.
Virginity can come back. Even if it was punctured or whatever happened, it can come back up to the age of 3. So when you have a girl by the age of 3, and it's Rosh Chodesh Adar, and at this point, Betulea, her virginity doesn't come back. נכון? She's 3. If Beit Din were מעבר את השנה, they made a leap year, so you have 1 more month. So her birthday going to be pushed off by 30 days. Would her virginity come back or not? No. Says the Ran, it's a Taz in the Chot Nida, that our body being reflected by the calendar of Chachamim. The calendar of Chachamim affect the world, the reality, to become according to the calendar. So if Chachamim made a leap year, this girl, her virginity will come back now because she's not 3 years old yet. A pattern of a month, it's a reality of Chachamim. So therefore, even though it's not a pattern, but according to Chachamim it is, that's creating in the woman a pattern to create a din of a vessel. Which means, לעבר שנים ולקבוע חודשים, that means you're a partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it's much more than a partner. You're controlling the world, and you let HaKadosh Baruch Hu know what was your decision. When we decide to make Rosh Chodesh, we telling Hashem, by the way, Yom Kippur, make sure to give us the... תוותר לנו. We give God instructions what to do. How can we give God instructions? The only way we can give God instruction is if it's nothing about us. Yisachar, their highlight is giving God instructions. You're in charge telling God what time?
Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur. Who did the same thing? When Leah, there's the Gemara, that's Gemara in Nida. The Gemara says, when Leah changed her approach and she decided to give the Dudaim and to sleep with Yaakov, says the Gemara, מלמד שהקדוש ברוך הוא סייע באותו מעשה. Leah made the decision to give up of herself to be with Yaakov. Who came to work for her כביכול? הקדוש ברוך הוא. Only the child who come from that night understanding that I'm giving up, it's not about me. They are the children who can give instruction to HaKadosh Baruch Hu what to do in this world. Which means the only sort of Yisachar and Zvulun means understanding that Yisachar must understand and live a life that's nothing about me. It's not for me, it's not for my benefit. I can do it myself. I have my own land, my own produce. I can make my own living. It's a decision that I'm not. That's why the Torah says, Vayechi lisbol second time. Because only if you have ability to do it yourself, and then Vayechi you decide to do it, that's really giving up from yourself. If you cannot do it yourself, Chazak u'Baruch. One of the Rebbein, Eliyahu's yeshiva, he was supposed to be in law school. A brilliant guy. So the Rosh Mechina over there told me, said this guy could have been a lawyer. He gave up the job of being a lawyer in order to teach kids Torah. So don't you think we need to support him? He married off his daughter. When a person gives up an ability to make and he decides to sit and learn Torah, that's a person who's giving up from himself. People who come to the table learning Torah from a feeling, okay, I don't have anything else to do. If I'm going to go outside, I'm going to be a driver, I'm going to be a mashgiach kashrut, I'm going to be in yeshiva. If you don't have much else to do, that's not considered, you cannot do Yisachar v'Zvulun. Yisachar v'Zvulun, knowing that you have the ability to make money, you have the ability to do everything else elsewhere, and then you make a decision to make Torah, that's a true Yisachar. I'm sorry, forgive me for a second, but I was talking to Ophir this morning. Ophir was supposed to take a test to be the mortgage broker. Baruch Hashem, Hashem gave him Gabi Bracha, that he didn't pass. And because he didn't pass, מה קרה? Ophir made a decision to sit and learn Torah all day. That's a true Yisachar. That's a decision. I can make money somewhere else, but I'm making a decision to sit and learn Torah. I'm not telling everybody here to go to work. I'm saying anyone who learns Torah should have the inside feeling, understanding. I could have made money elsewhere, and I decided to sit and learn Torah. Anyone who sits on the table and said, I'm learning Torah because I have nothing else to do, and that's why I prefer to be in Kollel, you're wrong. You have to work on yourself to understand that it's a decision that I prefer to give my own life for the sake of Am Yisrael than going out to work. And the last part is the Zvulun. Zvulun work only if you have no entitlement to your money. Only if you understand that what you're supporting is Smach Vulun Betzetecha V'Yisachar Bo'alecha. If you understand that we are reflecting each other, then you can go out to work and support. If you think you are doing anybody a favor, you cannot be Zvulun.